Welcome, wonderful souls, to the Lightness of Being Podcast. I'm Monika Stefanik, your guide for a deep dive into a world where magic, reality, and divine love intersect. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin. Welcome back, loves, to the Lightness of Being Podcast. It feels so tender and beautiful to be here with you again, Gab, in this breath and in this season of becoming. I'm going to invite us to maybe just close your eyes for a moment as I share a couple words from the heart, and then we'll dive into our beautiful conversation. The funny thing is that, which I was just sharing with you, this podcast hasn't been gone for very long, but it feels like it has, even though it's only been a month. About a month since the last episode went live. But life has been moving in such a deep and textured way lately that it feels like a lifetime has happened in these last couple of weeks. And today feels like a return of a different kind. Because the last time this magical woman and I sat in front of the microphone was almost a year ago. Crazy. And since that moment, so much has shifted in both of us. Not loudly or publicly, and not through online updates or personal branding arcs, but through the quiet, tender, behind-the-scenes work that real transformation so often requires. We've been in each other's lives every step of the way, witnessing the unravelings, the softenings, the initiations, the questions, and the miracles. We've been holding space for each other's tears and breakthroughs, and the slow, steady rewiring of old patterns. And even though none of that has been broadcasted or explained, it has been real and intimate and very sacred. This friendship, this woman that I get to call one of my best friends, has had an immeasurable impact on my life. Her devotion to her meditation practice, the way she tends to her inner world, the way she moves with such presence and reverence has inspired me in ways I can hardly put into words. Her relationship to the divine, with her body, with the natural world, and with the unseen. It's a quiet kind of brilliance that changes you just by being near it. And I feel honored, truly deeply honored, that I've had a front row seat to her unfolding this past year, and even beyond that. And she has had one to mine. Because while she is preparing to go fully nomadic for a period of time, to leave behind the home she's built for 8 years and follow a call into the unknown, I am grounding deeper into my life here, choosing different types of roots, choosing different type of stability, choosing a kind of nourishment I've never known until now. 2 different paths, 2 different expressions of freedom, 2 women who have quietly been becoming more themselves and supporting each other in that becoming. So today feels like a threshold we are crossing together, a return to the mic, but also a recognition of everything that has shaped us since the last time we pressed record. This conversation is a love note to the quiet work, to the inner seasons no one sees, to the friendship that holds us as we grow, to the choices that change our lives, and to the sacred transitions that are shaping who we are in becoming next. I'm so grateful that you're here with me, Gab, and with us. Let's begin. Welcome back to the podcast. I love you.
She's getting me all emotional before we start. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. This definitely feels like a full circle moment. And because a year ago we talked about transitions, and here we are in a whole different iteration of us and transitions. Yes. And I think we've both arrived to ourselves in very beautiful and surprising ways, and feeling so much more sovereign and free, and even better equipment for recording.
Most important.
Which is very important. Yeah. I'm going to start by asking, when you feel into the woman you were the last time we recorded, what feels different about who you are today?
Oh, that's such a lovely question. Also, I love you. I just wanted to say that. I love you so much. I appreciate you. Anyway, I just needed to say that and get it off my chest. Let's see. Where I was last time we recorded, I was sitting honestly, in a space of, I think, comfort. I was in a space of love, for sure, of being surrounded by a lot of stability and regularity and normalcy. And I needed that, because that is not what my body knows because of, a lifetime of trauma.
Yeah. Body keeps a score of what?
Yeah. Who would have known? I definitely know. And now here I am in a place where maybe that's not so much the case. I'm stepping into a big void of uncertainty and unknown, but it's in a whole new way than ever before. It's not from a place of attracting chaos and going back into that survival state in my body. It's more so coming from this very grounded place that I learned to cultivate and appreciate for a good number of years there, where now I'm able to go out into the world and step into the space of uncertainty, with a deeper regularity in my being. So it took that time of kind of, honestly, last time we talked, like, you could almost say my life was boring, because I was just like, running through the motions. But I was also finding so much beauty in that, and I was feeling so much joy and love in that, and I needed that for a period of time, where, as I said, like, now I feel like I'm able to hop out into the world from just a healthier state of mind than ever before.
Yeah. I feel that for you, but I'm really so excited for your adventures.
Thank you.
And I'm just really glad that you spoke to that, because I feel like I've shared with you kind of how I feel right now, like life on that. My life is not boring by any means, but like there are like the mundane things where I'm like, typically I feel like, oh, I'm like the traveler, right? Like I go travel and do these things, but like everything is calling me to just like be here and root into taking care of myself and my life, not out of chasing chaos, but out of just like chasing calm, not even chasing, just being in a space of calm and creating rituals in my everyday that from the outside may look boring, but for me, getting to not be in survival mode anymore and just getting to feel so at peace. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. And realizing that like this period of time is so necessary. And I definitely feel like there would be a past version of me that sad traveler part of me that would feel like left out or jealous, because it's not just like you in my life. Like there's a lot of other really incredible people that are close to me that are feeling the call to move and travel. And I'm like in the state of just being so fucking stoked for you guys, because I'm also feeling so stoked about where I'm at and what feels really good for me. And there doesn't feel like this like comparison or reaching or any type of that. I'm just like, oh my God, we're all like actually rooting into where where we're being called to right now and how we're being called to move through the world. And it's so beautiful and it's so amazing. So thank you for following your path. And do you want to speak to, because we've done a little bit of jinky work together, and so I'd love to hear your reflection on your radiant sphere, which was about like moving, right? Yeah, you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a little time with it, so I'm gonna maybe botch it a little bit. I'm gonna try my best.
Yeah.
But my radiant sphere was a lot about travel and about how my health is optimal and my radiance is optimal when I'm exploring and I'm out doing different things, and not just in relevance to out traveling the world, but also like just putting myself in new environments, in various environments. And I do find that to be so true, that I actually feel so much more radiant when I'm being stimulated in that way. So that landed for me really heavily. As I said, I feel like that time of kind of being more stationary, I guess you could say, was entirely necessary and so good for me. But I also felt like I wasn't standing in my optimal radiance because I didn't need to be yet. I think like ultimately it's like the moon, it waxes and wanes.
Yeah.
And I was kind of in a new moon phase for a little bit there. And yeah, I feel like right now in this space of like kind of being all over the place, like I've literally been just in this last few weeks, it's been Bend, San Diego, LA, Bend, New York, Bend, and then next is Salt Lake City. And then, yeah, it just keeps going on, like Washington, D.C., Seattle, blah, 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 and then going out of the country. So it's been kind of like one thing after the next. And surprisingly enough, I feel so radiant. I feel so, yeah, like healthy and alive right now. So I found that to be very true.
Yeah. I mean, even just getting to witness you like doing all like the regular life things and preparing to like do what you're doing and still look and feel as good as you do. It's like, yeah, no, you're like in your element right now. It is awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So good.
Yeah. Thanks. I was kind of thinking about that today because my life is like kind of technically in shambles right now. Like I am homeless. I don't have a car, and like my boxes of stuff are just everywhere. I like externally probably look like the most chaotic person. And I was just like, someone could totally look at my life right now and just be like, on paper be like, this person's gotta feel like crap and gotta be like so nervous and whatever. But I don't feel that at all.
Your
I feel
energy
like,
is so rooted.
oh, thank you. I feel that. I feel good.
Which I feel like is also like important as we're externally traveling, especially because I guess externally or internally traveling, it's like really important because there's that space of like, this is home. No matter where I'm at, this is home. And you've like profoundly cultivated that through your practices. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel that. What has been teaching you in quiet ways that are not so obvious on the outside?
Teaching me just in general?
Yeah. Whatever that means for you.
That's an interesting one. I feel like that's gotta take. I have a good one. I would say uncertainty itself is teaching me a lot, because this is kind of the test that I'm throwing myself into is finding that home within. And I'm finding that all of these years of cultivating my practice, my internal practice has really paid off. And so I'm learning a lot about myself and how important it is to show up for those practices, because now here I am amidst the uncertainty and the chaos, and I do feel okay. And that's not to say that I don't even just feel okay, I feel great. But that's not to say that there's not moments that come up, because there are, like with uncertainty, moments that come up that are like, but what if, and that like fear. And
Just so very human.
it's so human, and it's our job. And I realize it's my job to always step back and observe that, what that is. Where does that come from? And is that truly me speaking? And almost always I come to find it's a reminder every time. This is my limited ego that's trying to make sure that everything's in control and looks great. But I don't want my little ego to be in the driver's seat. I want to completely surrender over to the divine. And that's kind of what stage I'm in on my journey. And I find that that's going to probably be a lot more graceful and pleasant if I can let go of that need to control and to understand, and just challenge the little ego when it comes up and just be like, hey, like, I thought we talked about this. Like, I love you. Everything's okay. There's something bigger that's carrying us. Like, uncertainty is going to be better than we can even imagine. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question, but I just came to mind.
It's such a beautiful perspective shift because uncertainty is so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. And so, like, can we sit in that uncomfortability? And I think, like, regardless of what we're speaking to, there's that space of just like allowing space in our life for like a little pause. And that doesn't have to be like hours or an hour or whatever, but even just like, oh, I'm noticing that I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body in whatever way that is. Like, what is this? What can I do about this? And is it mine, or is there something else that's like going on here underneath the surface? And like, how do I need to be with this and show up to this so that I'm not like letting these lower frequency vibration ways of operating as a human move me forward?
Yeah. And every time we challenge that and we observe that, we disidentify with it. It becomes less and less a part of our being when it can come through, and we can be like, oh, this uncertainty, this fear of uncertainty is coming through right now. By creating that space of observation, we realize it's not us. We realize it's just a thought, it's a doubt, it's a fear, and it's allowed to come through if it wants to. That doesn't mean that we need to cling on to it and live by it.
Yeah. But it takes so much. And I think it's just a testament to like the work that you've been doing. And I'm like self-reflecting, like the work that I've been doing, because even in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, like not feeling so attached to things as they come up. And I'm like, oh my God, it's taken so long to get here. Like, this is crazy. But there's been, I mean, this year alone, just speaking like personally for the two of us, like what I've observed has just been like, especially from the last time we recorded, I'm like, I was in chaos mode last time we recorded. And it was just like the incredible, powerful shifts that can occur when we show up consistently to what is healthy for us, and really working with our psyche and our bodies in whatever way that looks to create these kinds of shifts is so profound. Because at that point in time, they're like, I was aware of these concepts and like kind of, like knowing of them. And I'm like, I know it's possible, but I'm just not there yet. And I didn't think that I would be here by now, but being able to be in this state, which is like come through me creating my inner sense of sovereignty and calm and all that stuff and letting chaos out of my life. But like, there is a continuous space of showing up to, like, there's no one else is there in your own mind every single day of like, oh, there's this thing coming up. Okay, am I going to sit and observe that? Oh, there's this thing coming up. Okay, can I sit and observe that? And like meditation is a powerful space to be able to sit with those things. And I think something I'm like in question about right now because it's you sit and meditate quite frequently, like all the time, frequently, a lot, which is amazing. And there's this space of in our day and age, I wish more of us did that, even myself, frequently enough. Like I'm working on getting back into my meditation practice. And so, as someone who has regularly been practicing that type of way of being with ourselves and like pausing, what did that transition look like for you? Or how did you start to like integrate that into your life? Because, like, especially people that are parents and have a lot of responsibilities, it's like, how do you start to what would be your advice to give someone on how to start to like pause, whether it's like meditation or another way of getting in contact with that deeper space of intuition?
That's a great question. When I started meditating, I started a long time ago, like when I was 16, but it's been kind of a journey, honestly, of like jumping into it, jumping out of it, realizing that I needed it, and just kind of this jumping in, jumping out game until I finally realized this was probably 3.5 years ago that I finally realized, okay, nope, meditation is a necessary key to my life. I call it my morning pill. um, and I started with not anything too crazy, to be honest. I started with guided meditation. Like when I started with the regular thing, I started with just sitting in front of my red light, doing a 20-minute guided meditation. Um, and that can be a really, easy way for people. Just taking that 20 minutes out of your day can be life changing. And that progresses. And that becomes a journey, like I said, where you begin to notice, like, when I don't create these moments for being with self and being in stillness, that I'm not my optimal self. I'm not having the most healthiest relationships. I'm not, attracting as much success or whatever. You see how they connect, how creating those moments of stillness and into reflection can benefit your outer life. And then for me, I became like kind of like addicted to it. Like, yeah, like this is necessary. This is entirely necessary. So yeah, just starting small and just taking note of how it improves your life, sticking with it for a little bit as much as possible. Just one thing I do want to share, because there's so many different types of meditation, and I just want to say, like, I have really struggled with ADHD. Um, it's been like a huge challenge in my life. And so that was a big barrier for me with meditation, because it was like, I don't want to sit down because then I have to face all these like crazy thoughts that are running through my head and all these things that I want to do and whatever.
My body wants to move, and I want to do this and that.
Exactly. So a few key things for that would be like, definitely incorporate movement. Movement and somatic work complements meditation. That's why yoga and asana is what it is.
Yeah, you do asana first, and then it prepares your body for meditation. That's the like purpose.
Exactly. That's literally the purpose. And it doesn't have to be asana yoga. Like you can just go to the gym or whatever.
Yeah.
But they do coincide with each other. It's going to be really hard to meditate if your body hasn't
Moved the energy through.
energy.
Yeah.
And then when you do go sit down to meditate, always commit to yourself to just start by observing. You don't have to go deep into meditation, and you won't most of the time, starting out especially. And sometimes you might even like have meditations that are really challenging and uncomfortable. But I would just say, keep showing up anyway. And I promise it will absolutely blow your mind, the parts of yourself that you can access over time, and the amount of joy and bliss and understanding that you can achieve through showing up, through devotion. And it's, I mean, devotion to self ultimately, at the end of the day.
So great. I like even the times when it's challenging, like one of my favorite things to do now. I mean, my radiance like comes through solitude, right? So maybe it's a little bit easier for, I don't know. It's still been a practice to like sit with myself, but when I do that, it's just some of the sweetest spaces. Like I love the emotional releases. I love the joy and the gratitude and just even the pain and like all the things that come up, because when I'm in that state of just observing and not feeling like it took me a while to get from a state of like observing to feeling like I don't have to do anything about it right now. Like there was a period of time where I'm like, oh my God, all this stuff is coming up, which means I have to do something about it, like right here, right now, which is why there was this like anxious energy, which is why I feel like, yeah, the movement's a really important piece of it beforehand. But then now being in this state where I'm like, I can observe and kind of take note and take stock, but without in that moment feeling overwhelmed by everything. But that overwhelm was definitely like, for me at least, a part of the process of getting to that state of like, now I can just like be with it. And it feels really sweet. And like some things are really challenging, but like giving it the breath and the space to move through allows it to not build up inside of our bodies.
Yeah.
And I think the pausing can take so many different forms too. Like I think even just like allowing yourself to cry in public or like around other people, even when it feels like really uncomfortable, right? Like that place, like there's a release that's coming through. And if we're shoving it down, then the same thing could be said for like sneezing or burping or farting, like all these weird things that like our body does. But when we hold it in, our body's like, what the actual fucking, it stores all of that.
Becomes coagulated.
Yeah. And it just stays. And you're like, oh my God. And so it's like, no wonder we feel the way we feel most of the time. Is because we're just like storing and suppressing so much. And so like for me, the pausing has even just been like an allowance of allowing myself to feel things in the moment as they come up, and like doing my best not to get, the practice has also been to not react from that state in whatever type of a way that looks, but to maybe like remove myself and just like take care of myself, which has also been a journey and a practice. But like even having the discernment of that space of like, I'm allowed to feel the way that I'm feeling right now, and it deserves expression, but it doesn't necessarily need to take over the space or the container that I'm in. And sometimes there is room for that. And sometimes it's just not the space, and not because I'm not worthy and deserving of like having the expression or taking up that space, but it's just not appropriate for that moment and space that I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like viewed as like containment, where you like recognize what is there, what you're feeling, and you don't have to throw it away, suppress it, or push it to the side. But in therapy, there's this practice of taking it and putting it into some type of receptacle, like a chest or a box. And there's so many different ways to do containment, but I feel like that's kind of what you were speaking on. That's a great way to do that, though, is when you're feeling that like that overwhelming whatever's coming up. It's like acknowledging it, seeing what's there, taking it and putting it into a chest of sorts visually, locking the chest and deciding, I'll come back for you later.
Yeah.
Like right this second is not the time. Yeah, I'll come back for it later.
Yeah. Which is just so important.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, I love this. If you had to describe this moment in your life as an element, what would you describe it as?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like. Okay.
Or multiple elements.
Something just
it can
came
be
to
like
mind.
a convergence of multiple elements.
I just thought of The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I am like Aang right now. Like no joke.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, I'm like full send right now. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to, I think the reason why it's hard to choose one is because it's hard to exclude the others.
Fair.
Like, I see how like the groundedness is playing in, but also the flexibility, but also like the excitement and the heat, and also the flow and the release. Like, it's all just kind of like, playing with each other. I'm like full aang mode.
So good.
Like, maybe I should get like a arrow tattoo.
Get
on
you
my
like
forehead.
tattooed on your forehead.
Yes.
That's awesome.
What about you?
That's a great question. I like wrote that and I didn't even think about it. It feels very, I feel connected to a lot of the elements. Maybe like mostly in this moment right now, earth and fire. Like, which is very appropriate because we just entered Sag season.
Oh.
It's gonna be my season very soon. But that like the rooting into like my home and kind of doubling down on Bend, because there was a period of time where I also felt like I was gonna move and I didn't really know what was gonna happen. And that was like a really important part of the process to even just be open to that, because I do feel an attachment to this place, and that was really big for me to even open up to the possibility and the idea of leaving it. And I'm like, I can leave and I can always come back and whatever. But yeah, really feeling into like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. And so that like sense of grounding and earthing feels very potent and powerful right now. I'm doing a lot of like a lot of cultivation with some women in the community, like physically working with the earth and really like devoting to this land. Feels really special. And then the fire comes, and then the fire is like my business and all the new things that are coming and shifting and feeling a lot more energy in that direction, a renewed sense of energy and like tenacity and just showing up for that.
I see that for you so much. I see earth and fire flowing through you so much right now.
We're ready for it. So many new things on the horizon. I'm just like so stoked for it. Like, what is gonna happen? What's possible now? What has this season initiated you into? Whether it's like your womanhood, your work, your body, anything in particular? Your spirit?
Yeah. I feel like I've really never experienced this level of like peace and knowing of who I am and what I'm here to do. So, I think that's what it is like deep inner knowing. Yeah, deep inner knowing. And also, there's been, this last year, like I said, was pretty chill for a while, but there were definitely some initiations over the last few months.
Oh, you mean eclipse season?
Exactly. Enough
Put us
said.
all through the ringer?
Exactly. Oh my gosh, things like just
so crazy.
fell apart. Like,
yeah,
it was wild.
For everything to fall back into place.
Exactly. And that's what I knew like the entire time that it was happening, that it was all for a purpose. And that in itself, like being able to go through those initiations, coming back again and again to that inner compass and that inner home was really cultivated that inner sense of knowing and that inner sense of home that I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. I resonate with that a lot. There's been I was even reflecting before we recorded, because like I shared, it's been a while since I recorded a podcast and was kind of feeling, it had been a little while since I journaled, and I journaled before you came a little bit as well. And that what you just spoke to, like, it feels kind of hard to put everything that's been happening into words that that right there. I'm like, how do you?
It's potent.
Yeah, there's so much. I'm like, I could record multiple podcasts. I could even trying to put it in my journal earlier. I was like, I don't know how to speak to everything that has been so potently alive, especially even just like in the last couple of weeks. I'm like, so much has shifted, so much has happened. Like, time is the trippiest thing, this weird linear space that we put ourselves in. I'm like, this is not real. Crazy shit.
It's all an illusion.
It's all an illusion.
Truly not.
You're truly.
Facts.
So it feels really good to be stepping back into it because I'm like, I love doing this
Yeah.
so much, and it just feels really
You
important.
need to be doing this.
Yes.
You have so much gift in you. What is that? So your Ajna. It's your Vishara.
Yeah.
The throat chakra for anyone who can't see. Yeah.
It feels, I've always known that it's been a big part. And so even being away from it for the last month or so didn't feel right, but also felt like a necessary pause in
Yeah, we need that.
things. We do. I was like, I had some things that I had to focus on that had some deadlines, and just put this on pause for a little while, which was okay. And now this feels like the proper way to return into this space.
I reignited.
Yes. I was even thinking, I'm like, we're still in the corner of my bedroom, but we're in a new bedroom.
Wait, you haven't filmed one in here?
No, I have filmed in here,
Okay.
but since you and I recorded, because the last time, I don't know if you remember how we tried to like rig everything up, but that was weird.
Yeah.
Felt weird. We were
It's
like
kinda
sharing a
cute, though.
microphone. It was
like
cute.
endearing.
It was very endearing. It's me being like, I'm doing this thing and I don't really know how to do this thing, but like, we're going to figure it out.
Now we have these gorgeous flowers
Yes.
and crystals and
Still figuring out lighting late at night because we recorded at night that time too. And
yeah, we
it's 10:30 right now. Doing the same thing. There's a theme here.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just like looking around as you were speaking, and I was thinking about me and thinking about you, and I'm like, we have come so far. Like, this is a huge upgrade from my life at that point in time. There's been so many amazing upgrades from that point in time for me and for you. And I'm just like, we're doing it. And it like, sometimes it feels like it's happening slowly when it's in the moment, but I'm also like, now we're here. And I'm like, this feels like it's happened at like warp speed. Like, it's crazy what can shift in such a short period of time. And I feel like it's really easy to get locked into it's really easy to get locked into certain ways of being in this world, especially when we have like visions for our future or like dreams of how we want our life to be. And I think the key in that is it's just really important to like not let those dreams and those visions go, and to continually take action on whatever that is for you in a way that feels good and not forceful, but through a space of like inner strength and attuned alignment. And it's not always like a big action, it may just be something really small, but that small action has a really profound ripple effect. And yeah, like I never thought that I would be where I'm at right now. And at that point in time, like, there were things and places and people that I never thought would be out of my life that are not in my life anymore. And that was like a really hard shift in letting go. And I have so much gratitude for that season and everything that was a part of it. And also, like, so proud of myself for everything that I've chosen and being where I'm at, even for how messy it was at the point in time that was. And yeah, I mean, it's not like change is not easy, but especially when we're the only one that can really like hold the vision for what we know is possible in our life, and no one else is really going to take that action for you, and you just have to do it at some point. And it's okay if you don't always know exactly what that is, but as long as it feels like there's that space of like really feeling into like this, that choice right there is like in alignment of like where I want to be, the sense and feeling of like how I want my life to be and feel and look like. And so even though it's not like the end goal, I'm going to follow the energy of where that's going to take me so that I can get to, not that we're really like getting anywhere, but so that I can continue to cultivate this really incredible, beautiful, magical life that I know is possible. And I'm just like, that strength and trust continues to build and build as you show up to that space. And I just think it's like profound sitting here now and looking back and thinking through everything that's like occurred for me and for you. And I'm just like, whoa, we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, I've really seen you jump some hurdles and make some things happen. It's pretty incredible. I want to just speak something that came to mind when you're talking about that. In the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, a very common theme, and there's this specific verse that speaks on how we should focus on the process more than the outcome. So this idea of trying to do things just for the sake of doing them, and I think even more so for the sake of showing intentionally and 100% and in an aligned way in every given moment, not for the sake of the outcome, but just for the sake of doing that. I think that is the ultimate key to achieving what we really want out of life. I really believe that. I do follow passive yoga. That's what I choose to subscribe to. But I just believe that every moment that we take to be present with what's in front of us, do our very best, and show up in the most aligned way is going to be the ultimate route to our desired outcome. So I've kind of been shifting my mindset toward in that direction over the last year, where I can definitely get ideas and visions of, what I want from the future. I let those things come through, but I've been trying to focus more on habits and little micro movements, and trying to enjoy the process as much as possible. And that kind of has put me into a state of curiosity more than anything, of like what's going to unfold from that. Because so far I like what I see. So far I feel like a happier and better version of myself. But yeah,
it's so fun too. You're just like playing with life in that way of like, oh, what's going to happen now? I'm so curious as to how this is going to unfold. And
exactly.
what this journey like gets to be like, and still holding the vision. But
because like, okay, so I'm going to get real trippy with this. So
please, we're here for it.
Like, we are not the doer. That's another yogic concept. We are not the ones that are manifesting. This is what I believe, Elise. So, hopefully it didn't sound like I'm projecting my beliefs too much, but I'm just speaking my truth, and also a lot of ancient truth, which is we're not the ones manifesting. We're not the ones attracting and living this life. Like, we're actually so much more than that. We're so much bigger than that. Ultimately, our bodies and our identities that are living out this life are kind of like a dream. They're truly an illusion, like a cosmic dream that are happening. And who we truly are is so much deeper and more profound. And so the way I see it is we can't get too lost in the material stuff and too lost in the identity stuff, because that can kind of just be an endless cycle of seeking fulfillment and finding disappointment. So when you're operating from this place of like curiosity, almost, you're a little bit detached from it all, and you're kind of watching the movie play out, and it's so entertaining. It's so fun and like challenging, and like whoa, like my life is like one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. Like, Gabrielle is a very interesting character, and I love her, and I honor her, and I see all parts of her, and also like And also I know that like she is not my final this lifetime, and Gabrielle is not my final being. You know, there's plenty more where that came from.
Yeah.
Depending on how long it takes for me to ascend. I'm just kidding. I don't see it that way, but yeah.
I love that perspective. It's similar in a way to, how like Access talks about things. It's just like they talk about like you, the being, as opposed to like you, this flesh body, right? And we're just infinite. We're everything. We're so much bigger. It's like, how do they describe it as like your body is like inside your being. Like your being is not inside your body. Yeah.
We're God experiencing itself. Like I was sitting in meditation today and I realized that. Well, I mean, I realized that a lot in meditation. That's one of the biggest realizations you realize. But today I realized that again.
And he's like, oh.
And I was just like having like this moment where I was like feeling like the sensations like of my, because I was so still, I could feel like the sensations of my organs moving and kind of like, I don't know, the tingly sensation that you have in your fingertips and stuff like that. And I was just like breathing in the air a little bit. And I was like, this is like God. I am God experiencing this, all of this. I don't know if any of that made sense.
That totally made sense. But
I realized how blissful all of it is. Like even these tiny little sensations like are truly blissful when we see them for like what they really are, ultimately. And even like even some uncomfortable emotions came up at one point in my meditation, and I was like, these are also God. and that transformed it. That was like, oh my gosh, like sadness can feel so orgasmic, like when you see it that way. Like that's wild.
That is so wild.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many things that are coming up right now. I'm just saying that, like, how much do I go into? How much do I go down that rabbit hole?
Girl, do it. Double.
That space of just getting to feel everything that we are is so profound. So profound. And there's so many different ways to. So Richard Rudd, who's the founder of the Gene Keys, in one of the episodes I think that he did on Gaia, or in somewhere that he's talking all of his amazingness, he was speaking to how there's just so many ways in order to kind of get to that place, right? And like he speaks to meditation, he speaks to the Gene Keys, he speaks to plant medicine, and like all of these other different ways and shapes and forms, but it's all they're all different avenues to the same goal in a way. And it just takes a commitment to a path that feels real and true for you in order to get to some sort of that kind of realization. And then when you're there, you're like, oh my God, this is the trippiest thing ever. I had a weird experience at the gym the other day where I was just like watching everyone like work out on machines, and I was like, what are they doing? Humans are so funky.
Yes.
What are these creatures doing? Just like, I had a whole.
I felt that at the airport recently too. I was the same feeling. Like we're just like flying through the sky casually, like
so casually.
No big deal.
NBD. Oh my gosh. So trippy. Now I'm like, I just want to think about that for a while. What's been the hardest truth you've had to acknowledge recently?
No. Spicy.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's been an interesting journey for me, trying to stay educated and aware of what's happening in the world for sake of, being connected to humanity and cultivating a sense of empathy that my little life isn't the only world that we're living. So trying to kind of know what's happening in the world and not, feeding too much into my privilege. And at the same time, um, making sure that I'm okay individually because that's critical is
Mhm.
for my internal well-being to be okay so that I can spread my light in the world. And so that's having to acknowledge like what my relationship is to social media, what my relationship is to the news, and what that really means to stay in touch with everything. And it's such a fine balance of not getting like too lost in it all and letting it like kind of replay those like trauma circuits in your brain of like chaos that you've been through. Because I
Mm.
found myself doing that a few times, especially with like all the Charlie Kirk stuff and the division and whatever, where I just kind of lost myself a few times. It was for like a period of like, a day or two of the Gaza thing where it was just like, it felt so heavy. Because that's what the news is like, what pushing at us, like these biggest tragedies that are happening in the world and all these narratives. So it's kind of just realizing that the most important boundaries that I'm ever going to have in my life are the ones that I have with myself. I have to have boundaries with myself and I have to know what boundaries I need to put up in order for me to be honoring myself, to be authentic, and also at the same time to take care of myself. So, so yeah, that was just realizing that I needed to, I mean, not be totally disconnected from it all, but like what can I do to be able to educated and not be just roped in.
Yeah.
And also along with that is accepting that there is darkness and there's terrible things happening in our world and coming into full acceptance of that and coming into full acceptance of like the division and the terrible things that are happening can actually can actually develop a sense of peace, inner peace as well.
Mm.
Um, so that, to answer that question fully is really like accepting that, yes, there's darkness, there's terrible things happening. And not that that's okay, but that is a necessary part of this human experience. That is an aspect of duality. And simultaneously, while knowing and accepting that, knowing what my limits are on being exposed to that darkness and how it affects me. So,
Yeah. I really admire that because I've definitely very much limit what's allowed in my space when it comes to all of the all of the things that are happening. And like of course I know to a certain extent of, yeah, just the depths of the darkness of what's happening. And like I can feel it. Like I can tune into it without having to like know details. And for me that has been the balance too. I'm like, if I take this in any kind of capacity, like it immediately affects me in a very negative way. And that's not like being informed in a certain way is not worth my health and well-being because then I can't actually show up for myself and be able to step out into the world and radiate my light, which is going to penetrate this darkness in whatever way that it's meant to on like an individual or a collective level. And there's a balance between it. And it's been really difficult because I think it can be easy to feel, at least for me, guilty for not maybe being informed in ways in which others may think that I should be, and really holding what I know to be true and real for myself and how I need to show up and bring information into my world so I can be informed and also still be able to show up and nurture and take care of myself because that truly at the end of the day, which I spoke to in I think the Jinky gathering that you were at, where I was like, the most important thing that I know, and which is why I love that body of wisdom so much, and like diving into it, is like taking care of us is like, it may seem selfish, but like that's just, it's truly the only thing we can quote unquote control. Can't even really control it, but like this is where we can do the work. And by doing the inner work, that is just going to shed light and start to shift the consciousness of the collective on the planet. And some of us are meant to be in more expressive, external, extroverted roles. And that's amazing and beautiful. And some of us are meant to be in more introverted, internal roles. And we all just have different parts to play, and to just like love that and acknowledge that. And I think the important piece of like what I'm realizing of like what's happening now is an empowerment into the space of like, what what is your role and where is that? And can you be okay with that, even if you maybe want it to look a certain way, or you're feeling judged by others or society or whatever for your role maybe being different because they don't understand, because they have a different role to play and they can't understand that. And I feel like I witnessed this really profoundly when I sat in ceremony a couple of months ago, and was just, in my experience, which was the first time, felt like it was a very different experience than what I could sense and feel a lot of the others in our group moving through. And recognizing the space of like just how incredibly important what each of us were there doing was, and like from that space saying thank you, and recognizing that like I could not be in the experience that I was in without everyone else being in the experience that they were in, and that like roles shift and change all of the time. And so it's like, where is your role right now? And like, how are you really acknowledging what is yours, and just owning that and allowing that to be like where you're meant to be and how you're supposed to be engaging with the world or not right now. And there's nothing like right or wrong about that. It just is. And like whatever that is at any period in time for you is beautiful and perfect, and it is causing a ripple effect out in the world, even if you're meditating at home. Like it's, it still causes profound shifts. But I think when it's not so externalized, it's easy to get wrapped up in like, oh, I don't have an impact, or oh, what can I do to help? So I'm gonna like donate, or I'm gonna do all this stuff. And it's like those things are beautiful and they're necessary and we need that. Absolutely. And what's your role?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really like that outlook. And I really believe in the power of prayer and staying in touch with definitely cultivating our inner sense of well-being, and staying in touch with the reality of the world, which is, yeah, that there is darkness, and we need to know our limit on what we intake and how we feed into that. But I think the reason why it's important to stay aware that there are so many people that are struggling and challenges, it increases our capacity, yeah, to empathize and to make peace with duality, but also to send love to all those individuals out there who are really struggling, and they need love from people who live like we do.
Yeah.
You know, they need our thoughts and our prayers. And even if that's like, I think maybe that in itself should be every human's role at the end of the day, is just, even if you don't have the capacity to to watch the news or know exactly what's happening, like just acknowledging that
There is pain.
yeah, and acknowledging
Yes.
the beauty in your own life, acknowledge, like being grateful for what's in front of you, because there's so many people who probably have it worse, or most likely do, and just taking time to, yeah, like to
acknowledge the privilege, and like through that space there's a power of like, okay, what can I do to help?
yeah,
And
yeah, and yeah, I mean, I
prayer is a
guess
huge part.
yeah, I guess even like right in this moment, whoever's listening to this, like feeling that gratitude for the good things in your life and sending that joy, not love or whatever it is you're feeling, and sending that out into the world, sharing that with other people, praying for world harmony and world peace, because yeah, we all need to take part in that manifestation.
And all beings deserve to feel happy and whole and safe and healthy and at peace.
I realized something that just made me think of. I was at a really important event recently. I won't go too much into that, but I had a really profound realization during that in order for me to achieve the ultimate state of peace, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, everyone else in the world needs to as well. I'm never going to reach this like liberation, if that's what you want to call it,
On your own.
if there's one other human in the world who's still suffering, then I'm not going to be able to go there. So my journey of awakening and evolving, I guess is the most applicable way to put that, is not individual. It is dependent on all of humanity, because we're all the same. Like ultimately the person who's, struggling on the side of the road is me as well. And I can't just my soul can't just up and leave that behind. Because if I'm truly in truth and in awareness of what everything really is, and in that state of enlightenment, then I realize that, then I know that person, is me. And that person also needs that peace and that awakening. So that's been really big shift for me.
There's like some, I don't know, phrase or saying that came, I don't know where, but like, no one is free until we're all free. Right? Like it's that just incredible awareness that of the returning to the one that we all are. And I think we're so blessed to have the privilege that we do to be able to work on ourselves in the way that we do, because when we step into our, you call it our purpose, our light, it's like spread. Like I'm so stoked that you're getting to have the ability to travel around more, because that just means you get to have a greater reach in a certain type of a way. And so that people get to interact with you more in your way of being, and that even if it's just like an interaction at a coffee shop, right? Like that can shift and change someone's whole day or perspective. And I think it just really, it's a calling forward. Like we are privileged and also put in positions of like, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Like you have this privilege for a reason. And so don't waste it. Don't take it for granted, and recognize it for what it is, and that there is a really incredible gift within that space of like how we have a really special opportunity to get to step forward and be voices for the voiceless, and get to emanate and radiate something out into the world that can create a much greater change than those that don't have the opportunity to do that right now. And it's really important from that space to like make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, so that we can be moving and emanating from a place of true authenticity, and not that like our ego isn't going to be attached into it, because it's just a part of being human, but like doing our very best, even like when that does happen, to like put it into check and acknowledge it, and still continue forward on this path of bringing the world into the light, and everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot sometimes, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a gift.
It is. It's also a good reminder that like showing up to our practices of taking care of ourselves and our own internal evolution is not only something that we need to do for ourselves, it's something we need to do for the rest of humanity as well. Like you're not being selfish by taking that time out of your day to sit in silence by yourself. That is like your responsibility as human for the sake of human evolution for you to prioritize your growth, to prioritize your being. And I try to remind myself of that too, because I think especially as women, like it can be so easy to get in the mindset of like thinking about, others, and sometimes I will, especially like I used to like just be, oh, okay, I can just like meditate tomorrow or something like that for the sake of making sure that someone else's needs are met. But it's so much more of a motivator for me to know that like by showing up, I am benefiting both myself and I'm benefiting the rest of humanity as well.
Yeah. Beautifully put. What do you feel like you're maybe, I don't know, desiring or like opening into right now that you have the capacity to hold that you haven't had the capacity to hold before? Does that make sense?
Well, I'm stepping into a place where I'm putting myself fully into my hypnotherapy practice. And I mean, there's a lot of risk involved with that, I guess you could say. And I think when, like back in the day, when I would approach that, maybe it would come from a little more of a space of like, of fear of like worrying about like I don't know, like the numbers and finances,
Material
and
realm of things, yeah.
But I feel like where I'm at now, it's like I really trust that I'm being provided for by the divine.
And this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like that feels so.
Yeah. And so like because I don't fear the financial aspect of it as much, it's not really as much about like, how am I gonna get enough? How am I gonna survive and whatever. It's less about me and it's more about me actually holding my practice and holding my clients and showing up to like how can I help these people? How can I hold them through whatever they're going through and help them through their transformation? And so with the emphasis less being placed on me and more on that, I think it's going to make me a better practitioner. It's going to make me more adept as a practice owner, because it requires a lot out of you. And when you're bringing like fear and like lack mindset into the mix, you just aren't able to like show up at your fullest capacity. And so I feel like that shift in me of being able to trust and receive allows me to show up better as a practitioner, and I think I'll be able to hold a practice better than I would have ever been able to in the past. Thank you.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Something I've been leaning into within my own practice, and then different, it's an entrepreneur, it can be challenging sometimes, and the different things that I do, and there's just been some, I don't even know how to really put words to that, but anyway, I've been finding a way to, which I heard this somewhere a while back as well, but I was like, we're co-creating with the universe, right? And I was like, you know what? It's not about the money. It's not about any of that. This is about showing up for my clients. This is about choosing ways of being with body and coming back into a deeper resonance of self and healing that I truly believe in and know so deeply, like have an incredible capacity to help shift things that go on in our physical bodies, but that shift so much more than that. And like, okay, universe, I'm going to show up to this space. And it's not about the money, it's not about any of that. Like, I'm just going to do it. And so to the point where not like been trying to navigate, like, oh, what do I, not like offering everything for free, but finding ways of like, well, I just want to do this thing. And if
Mm.
I don't have people signing up for these certain types of sessions, I I still want to do this thing because I believe in it. So how can I like maybe navigate a trade with someone where it's like they're really struggling with money and they really have something going on with their body? I'm like, great, awesome. Let's do the thing because this is great for me and this is going to be a contribution for you and this feels good for me to show up for you in this way and like I know that you're getting the support that you need and the contribution to me is that we get to do this thing and like I get to play and practice with it with you and then you get to, communicate to me like what your experience is and what like, what's possible from that space. And it's just I think it's interesting just being in a world that's saturated with so many different modalities and also like how do you reach certain people has been like the space that I've been in. And so I'm just like, okay, instead of getting crunchy about it or any like having weird like limiting thoughts come up, I'm like, what's right about this that I'm not getting? And how do I play with the universe in this way and like just show it like if I back away from it, then that's me also telling the universe, like, okay, well, I'm not really like serious about it
Yeah.
anyway. Or it's like I'm saying that I believe in it, but my actions are not showing that I believe in it. So I'm like, okay, I have to put my money where my mouth is and like show up and like do the actions no matter like what that looks like, but also doing that in a way that feels like not abandoning myself or like my worth, but trying to find a way to do that like within resonance and also like a playful way with the universe, which is fun and cool. But yeah, when you start taking the chasing the money out of the equation, which it's just like a weird programmed thing that we're into, it's like everything gets so much lighter and you're like, oh, this is great. I just get to play and do the things that I want to do. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to share something on that.
Yes, please.
That comes to mind. I just had a really cool like social experiment, I guess you could say. You know about this.
Yes.
I'm gonna share this on the podcast.
For the listeners.
So on this journey of stepping into a place where I'm gonna be living kind of all over the world, who knows where and when. I felt called to let go of so many of my things so that I wouldn't be kind of holding on to anything too much, and nothing would be holding me back. So I got rid of almost everything I own, and here's how I did it. It was very interesting. I took almost everything I own and I laid it out in my apartment, and I just was like, I just looked at it and I was like, you know what? Here, God, this is yours. Do with this what you will. And that was really challenging because there were so many things that were worth a lot of money. And I couldn't, if I were attached to the making money aspect from it, I think it would have stressed me out a lot. And I don't even know if I would have made as much as I did. So, yeah, God said, post it on Facebook up for donation or, donation based. And I had probably like 60 or 70 people, what it came out to, come over to my apartment, walk around, look at all my stuff, take what they wanted, and donate what they could. And I just told every one of them that walked in, like, everything's up for grabs. There's a few things in here that have stickers on them with like a range. Those are like really expensive items. But this is up to your discretion, what you think it's worth and what you can provide. And almost every single person who came in there donated way more than I expected them to. Like they literally spent more money on the items than I would have even sold them for. And I connected so deeply. Like the experience itself was so enriching because I didn't make it about the money, because it was about is about surrender, is about letting go and
And
letting.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the conversations I had were just incredible, and I connected with so many people. And along that, I also made quite a bit of money. Like, it actually was like way more than I expected. And that was such a beautiful little example of how like the divine really takes care of us, and how when we don't, place money on that, like, or place, sorry, attention on that, on like the money and the number and the bank account, and we place it more on like the authenticity and the experience of whatever we're doing, um, the money comes. It does. I've come to find that, like, here I am 28 years later after going through, I mean, yeah, times in my life where I didn't know what was going to happen next. I'm still here, and the divine has provided for me.
Mm.
And so now it's a matter of me really accepting that, like, the divine has been here for me. I'm still alive. I still eat great food. I still have a roof over my head every night somehow. And am I going to trust that moving forward? Am I going to trust that the divine is going to continue to take care of me, and I don't need to be the one to have everything figured out all the time, because I literally can't anyway.
Mm.
So anyway, I digress, but
Yeah, it's such a fun experiment. I don't know anyone that's done that. I mean, I guess like garage sales are kind of like the same thing, but those are also my experience has been there's just a totally different energy to how you went about doing that.
yeah, usually people like
Yeah.
post items up like
Yeah.
with like a price.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of like attached to that price, and they're kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder how much money I'm gonna make from the garage sale or whatever. And
Yeah.
almost everything in my apartment was like unlabeled, up for your discretion. People would be
Yeah.
like, how much do you want for this? And I'm like, I do not care. Like, truly, I challenge myself to not even like
Yeah.
give a number, and just be like, whatever you think it's worth and you can contribute. And
I think that's really beautiful because there's also just like a releasing of like, to me, it feels like a big exhale in my body. Like if I think of doing that with my stuff, if I was to ever, move, I'm like, that just feels so much more easeful. Like think about the time and the energy that it takes to like put labels on things or be like, I'm going to sell this, I'm not going to sell this, or like, just like how much time and energy that takes as opposed to like, be like, you know,
Come take it.
just come take it. Like I am on a new path in my life, and like these items are not a part of that new journey, and I'm in full acceptance of that. And it's just like they're ready for a new home. They're ready to be in places that they're going to be like loved and cherished. And if that's with you, then that's amazing. And like, please share something with me that feels good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really great way. Everyone who came in was like, "This is such a good idea," and not to like, I don't know, be cocky or whatever. It's not. It wasn't that. It was a divine
Yeah.
idea that came through. It
Yeah.
wasn't mine ultimately.
Yeah.
But my point is that I think this is what people should be doing. I think we do get attached to our things, and we get attached to the money aspect, but like we should be having periodic times of letting go and fully surrendering and being willing to step into that uncertainty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, it is so much more easeful than having to like take pictures and post
Yeah,
and
like when I think
whatever.
about it, I'm like, oh my God, that's just so
Yeah, it's
it's
a
like
lot.
such a much more relaxed way to go about releasing things, especially that have like monetary value or emotional connection.
Oh, emotional.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But here's what's cool about the emotional too, is it's like there's so many items in there that I truly, when I was looking around, I was feeling so emotional and uncomfortable as I realized that people were going to be taking it away. But then when people like grabbed it and they were like, they would either ask me what the story was, or they would like, they would really appreciate it themselves for whatever reason. Seeing them take it home with that sense of gratitude and excitement for how it was going to serve them helped me to really transform that sadness of letting it go. Like I immediately felt better because it was like, okay, it's going to be with someone else who's going to cherish it. So, yeah.
One of my favorite things that I've like experienced through like clothing swaps and even just like giving away like books and stuff every once in a while is like, yeah, the joy that you see with when someone else like is like, oh my gosh, like this is definitely like this resonates so deeply. This is meant for me. But then like if I see one of like my friends wearing like an item of clothing that I had for a while and I see her at dance and she's just like rocking it and made this like whole outfit out of it. And I'm like, that is amazing. Like it brings me so much joy. I'm like, this is an awesome
Absolutely.
exchange. Like the gift that it's like the gift that keeps on giving. And so it's like so weird how clingy and attached we can get to the material realm and like actually the incredible gift that lays on the other side of like giving from the heart and in a way that feels really, yeah, that just like feels really good and not out of a like, I have to do this, or, you know, there's the whole other side of like love bombing and all these things. But anyway, it's like, a, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like when it feels really good and it's coming from a genuine space and you're just like, and that joy is like unmatched almost.
yeah. Totally.
It's so sweet.
I think that giving feels better than getting.
Yeah.
Like I'm 110% sure of that actually.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget that too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
It is. And it's also, it's really important for us to receive too. We also get to receive in so many ways. It's not just have to be materialistic, right? Like we receive in so many different ways.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's different seasons and moments.
I'm just thinking of like, I've been like thinking about you so much through this process and like looking around my room and like I'm also in a period of like shedding and getting rid of stuff, but I still have like a lot of stuff. And I'm like, it's fine for right now. And like just how clear and clean it can feel when you just like release a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can feel, well, it feels like there's so much room for the right things to come.
Yeah.
The things that are right for me with who I am in this moment of my life. Yeah. Like all of those things that I had were right for me in that moment. And also I've grown and changed a lot over this last year in particular, of this lifetime.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want my surroundings to really reflect that. So now I've created this like room and the spaciousness for like, all right, like come forward, whatever is right for me now. And like I said, I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
It's so interesting because I was thinking about like, yeah, just a lot of the things that I have. And I'm like, so much of like books or other things. And like, I got those, that was like a different version of me. And I'm holding on to them because I'm like, oh, like I might want this in the future or whatever. But like, if I actually just like hone it into right here, who I am right now, I'm like, what feels really good for me to have right now? And it's like, I can always buy those books again if I do resonate with them later on, or like they came to me at a point in time and I'm like, but I haven't touched them in like a year or whatever. So it's like, obviously, like they're not meant for me right now, and that's okay. And it's like makes it so much easier to release and like let them go and trust. And like, and I know from my experience as well that like, yeah, it just opens up space for the right things to come in for like who you are at this period and point in time. And then that like, then you're actually getting contributed to, as opposed to like holding on to these things that you think are adding value, but they're actually just creating dust on your shelf. Right? Like,
I mean, I guess you could say the same about like relationships.
oh, could you? Could we say that?
Let's get real.
Oh
Let's get real. Yeah, I think.
I mean, that's all that everything is relating. We're relating to our things. We're relating to others.
Yeah. I think it's relating to people as well. And as I
everyone's like, don't go there.
You're right. Right. Like, I did not need to hear that. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did, Lisa.
Very important.
as I venture off into this new season, I leave behind a lot of relationships, which there are a handful which I'm not leaving behind, which I'm holding dearly in my heart until the next time we reconnect.
Mm.
One of these this relationship being one of them.
I already cried today. It's fine.
Oh. But there's also so many other so many other like micro relationships, even like the people that we see at the coffee shop and whatever. But when you move away from a place, you're leaving behind all those relationships and micro relationships besides those that you decide to carry with you. And that's kind of an intentional action on my part as well, to open up space for new interactions and new individuals to enter my, maybe not the most relevant thing to say on, but sort of. I was just talking about this with someone. I had a meditation, this was a few years back, where my mom, who passed away, came to me in a really powerful way. I was probably like an hour deep in meditation, and her message to me was, this is all going to go by in the blink of an eye. It was just like a visceral awareness of how short and precious and sweet life is. And I wanted to share that because this moment is a gift. It can make me cry because of how much of a gift it is. And it's so important for us to receive the gift of each moment. So I just wanted to share that. That's what came up.
This moment go by in the blink of an eye. Wow.
Truly, like it's
wow.
Like the moment it's all done.
I'm gonna write that on my mirror.
The moment it's all done, it's like all of it was just the blink of an eye. And the more profound we can make each moment, the more we can ritualize and make each moment sacred, the more like rich this experience is going to be. So yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with me in this moment.
Thank you.
You have me here. I love you.
I love you too. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you. And I'm sad you're leaving, but I'm also like so happy for you. I'm so excited.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll reconnect in a different country. Definitely will.
That would be most ideal.
Amazing. Yeah. I will put links in the show notes for how to connect with you when that feels good. That'd be great. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Blessings.